just can't believe it's so.
Before my daughter was born, I studied child-rearing books like I was cramming for a test, including one called Miss Manner's Guide to Rearing Perfect Children. Stephanie is my only child. Since my own upbringing was a little rough around the edges, I was determined to have a close connection with my daughter. Her father and I weren't married, so the alternate birthdays I spent with her were extra special to me as she was growing up. Even now, I try to make her birthday really fun. Usually we celebrate in person, but I now live in Texas, and she was way up in New Jersey. I called on her big day and happily launched into the birthday song. She quietly said, "All I wanted was a card, and I didn't get one, Mom." The distance between us deepened. If there was a final exam for parenting, I had failed it. I apologized profusely. We hung up, and I was left with a well full of guilt. I had to remedy the situation. After pondering a few hours, enlightenment hit. Given it was her 28th birthday, and it takes 28 days to make a habit, I decided to send one card a day for each year of her life. I wanted to shower her with love. I grabbed my purse and headed for the card store. I stood in front of the belated birthday section and spotted a no-brainer, a sad-looking hound in a doghouse. Perfect, as I was determined to get myself out of it. I shuffled through religious cards, mom-to-daughter tear-jerkers, wow factor sound effects, and 99-cent specials, plotting my strategy. Stephanie and I usually send each other cards that make us cry. Why not sprinkle it in a little variety? This led to the next logical choice, a lemur in tighty whities, dancing to a song about sexy underwear. Inside, I wrote, "To my oh-so-silly daughter from your even sillier mom." Later, she told me the Texas heat must have fried the animation since the lemur refused to dance and sing for her. I needed cards that would survive Texas and the US postal system. It was time for divine intervention. When I sent her a card saying, "Thank you, Lord, for my daughter," I recalled her third grade assignment, a moment I treasure from her childhood. Write about the most spiritual person in your life. She wrote about me. Spelling errors crossed out and redone. I have it framed next to my bed where I see it every day. More cards followed, echoing her teens. There was such promise in those years. When she was 13, Stephanie was the maid of honor at my wedding, glasses and all. She hated how she looked in those photos. The marriage turned out even worse. I sent her a card that said, "Here's to those awkward teen years and the awkward stuff that goes with them. I may have dumped the groom, but you, never." By now, I was reliving her high school years. How tough it was her first day when the seniors picked on her and all the other new freshmen. How happy she was when she made the cheerleading squad. Prom pictures posing like movie stars with her friends. The fiercely competitive look, then amazement on her face when her junior class beat the seniors for the first time ever in powder puff football. The many choices she faced in those years, and how grateful I was that for some of them, she sought my advice. Inside an emotional card about courage, pride, and growing up, I wrote, "I know you had an unconventional childhood, but you're an exceptional person. And these days, families can be anything. I will love you more than anyone all my life." When Stephanie was 19, roommate life wasn't always tons of joy. I recalled helping her set up her dorm room, then the long ride home to an empty nest. I remember all the times she called to confide in me when she was with her college girlfriends and they didn't see eye to eye, and I knew she just wanted someone to listen. My company moved me to Texas a few years ago, and it was heartbreaking. to leave her in our home in New Jersey with her growth chart on the kitchen door frame. I miss being able to meet her for dinner at our favorite restaurant. Inside a sentimental mom card, I taped a key to my house. Under the key, I wrote, "You always have a room in my home and my heart." We had made a pact to celebrate her 21st birthday together. What could go wrong if I was there with her? The orange and black card said, "It was a dark and stormy night. Suddenly, there was a shot, then another one, leading to a picture of a bar." I think you know how this ends. She and I hit the Ivy Bar in Princeton at the stroke of midnight. A huge bouncer inspected her ID and, waving her in, said, "Happy birthday." The bartender poured us many apple-flavored drinks, served in little shot glasses. The next day, it felt like the entire apple tree had landed on our heads. All future alcohol-related events together were far more subdued. I signed the card, "Your drinking buddy." I celebrated her successful entry into the workforce with a pop-up card displaying a woman-designed car dashboard with all the extras: lipstick organizer, left and right nail polish dryer vents, secret chocolate stash, and a clock that's 20 minutes fast. The car she bought with her new salary was massive, and I warned her it would drink gas like a nonstop 21st birthday bar crawl. But she was making her own choices now, and said it made her feel safe. Growing up, I screened Stephanie's babysitters like an FBI agent. So the 27th card was a sentimental one about wanting to protect her all her life. Last year, I was standing in a dressing room at Macy's, happily trying on clothes, when my phone rang. It was my daughter. Terrified, she was in an unsafe situation and needed help immediately. Standing semi-naked in that tiny room in shock, I had no way to get to her. She told me some friends were coming, she would be okay. I knew she was only saying that to make me feel better. Heartbroken, I cursed the distance between us. I kept calling to check in and sent her care packages from way too far away. For the final card, I returned to my original belated theme: an elephant holding a balloon that said, "Didn't really forget your birthday, just wanted the happiness to last a little longer." Inside, I told her how much fun it was to relive her 28 years. I have this fear. I think lots of mothers of daughters have, of separation. That despite all my best efforts, my child will grow apart from me, and I'll be an afterthought in her life. Any misstep we make as parents can haunt us and be used later as reason to keep that distance. It's even worse when geography gets in the way. A few weeks ago, I flew Stephanie to Detroit for her grandfather's funeral. She got up to speak a eulogy and steps away from the podium, turned, and collapsed into my arms. Together, we walked over and I held her as she shared memories of her grandfather. That moment of her turning to me for comfort, and when she told me she saved every card, made me realize that despite the physical distance between us, our connection was never lost. Pushing all those envelopes full of love brought us even closer.